Hello, welcome to Take Stock Manatee. I'm Elaine Graham, volunteer, mentor, and community council chairperson. I'm hosting today's show with Diana Dill, the executive director of Take Stock in Children Manatee.
Take Stock in Children is a powerful and proven college scholarship and mentoring program to help deserving children reach their greatest potential. Students are accepted as early as the 6th grade through an application process. Once the student is selected, the student, along with their parent or guardian, sign a performance contract committing to good grades and behavior, remaining drug-free and crime-free, and most importantly, to meet with a mentor for 30 minutes per week, every week during the school year on the school campus. Upon graduation, as long as the student has maintained their agreement, they receive a college scholarship. Take Stock in Children has a 96% success rate of keeping students in school, receiving their diploma, attending college, and entering the workforce. I'm excited to introduce our guests to you today. We have Victor Gutierrez joining us from Manatee High School, class of 2013, with his mentor, John Scott, a teacher at the Manatee High School. And we have Emmanuel Leon from Palmetto High School, class of 2008, who was mentored by the late Rick Fawley. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
I too want to thank you for coming today. One of the things that we really want to get across today is the idea of mentoring and what it means and how it happens. So I think my first question is, do you remember anything about the first meeting that you had with your mentor?
It was about 7 years ago, but kind of, I was like, oh man, I'm stuck with him for 4 years through high school. But we pulled through and it was pretty good. I like him.
How did that relationship develop?
First year, actually, he was my English teacher. So I seen a lot of him. Besides in class, after school, he helped me out a lot through class, which was my worst subject, but it turned out to be his primary subject, so kind of the benefit.
Well, that was a good match then,
Yeah.
as things developed and time went along.
Yeah.
And do you remember your first meeting with your mentor?
I do. It was actually a Wednesday. It was a Wednesday, kind of nervous. Here I am, I'm a senior. And it was a little different for me. Instead of meeting at school, my privilege was to go to their firm. So we met at their firm, and I'm here at one of the most successful architecture firms in Manatee County. And I'm like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And how they're gonna treat me, and it was a wonderful experience. They were super nice with me, and they kind of showed me around their whole team, and it was great.
John, as a mentor, what do you remember about that first meeting or the first few times you were together?
Yes, first of all, I'd like to say thank you very much for having me here today. I feel very humbled to be here and be a part of the Take Stock program. To me, the Take Stock, I have pretty strong memories because we met before the first time that we had to do our 30 minutes. And so when Chris Putnam, who at that time was the representative or the liaison, introduced Victor to me, I'll never forget his face. It seemed like his mom was dropping him off at summer camp. And that was okay because really, if you think about it, from my end as a mentor and a teacher, it didn't seem like something that we had to solve in just a short period of time. I think Victor and I were committed to all 4 years from day one. So that allowed us an opportunity to get to know each other. And as Victor says, he was a student in my class, so it was nice to get to know him as a person when we would meet outside of class. as well as getting to know them as a student in class.
It does build as time goes on, but it's that first meeting or two that's often a little bit stress-filled, unsure, and so forth. It's one, though, that develops and evolves.
Victor, tell us a little bit about how you heard about Take Stock in Children and how you felt once you were selected.
I hadn't heard about Take Stock until 7th grade. I've heard a couple of my friends got Take Stock scholarships. I didn't know what it was, but one day I get called to the office. I'm thinking I'm in trouble. I was actually selected because of good grades and good behavior and everything. They selected me to have a Take Stock scholarship, and it was pretty cool. It was exciting that day.
And will you be the first person in your family to attend college?
Yeah, so that's a benefit. That's a huge thing.
And what school are you attending now?
Right now I'm at State College of Florida. This is my last semester, and I will be transferring to USF in Tampa.
Wonderful. And Emmanuel, tell us a little bit about your background and your family.
I'm one of 7 children, and the second one to attend college, but the first one to graduate. So coming up, it was kind of hard. Come from a low-income family, but my parents are super proud of me. There's one word I've always remembered my mom, my dad telling me was, échale ganas, which means reach into your deepest part and get it done. So growing up in elementary and middle school, no matter what I did, my mom never failed to say, échale ganas. And it stuck in my head, and everything I do in school, everything I strive for, everything I want to do is there. I have the support of my family. Not only my parents, but my brothers and my sisters. I have their support, and they've been with me since day one. Support every school, when I'm having troubles in school or income-wise, or just no matter what it is, they're there for me.
Tell us a little bit about the influence of your mentor on your career.
At first, it's, you think of a career and you're just like, well, I might be good at it. You're not sure, but, you see it there, the symptoms, and actually them being architects, being able to experience it, one-on-one, and being at their firm and seeing how it's done, it's like, this is what I want to do, and them, talking to you, they weren't pushing me like, oh yeah, you should do architecture, it's great. It was just like, you know what? Talk to me, let's see how, what you think about it. We're gonna show you around, and their whole team was on board. Any questions I had, they answered. So being to actually experience it firsthand in architecture I knew from that on that's what I wanted to do.
One of the things that happens with that mentor or mentee relationship is that the mentor comes with a background, a history, career experiences, and so forth. And one of the things that we do as mentors is to share that with our students and so forth. Sometimes it's an influence, as it was with you, but many times it's not. So the relationship that develops, you never know where it's going to go and how students are going to react to that experience. What kinds of things, as the relationship has developed, did you talk about?
A lot. We talked about our families, lives, everything around us. I think it was my senior year. He told me his wife's pregnant. Now he has a 3-year-old. And so times flew by. Not just about family, we've talked about school, out of school, work, everything we do. We're real close, I think.
And what were some of those things? I know career kinds of things evolved, but in the early stages, what kinds of things did you share and talk about and work through?
We common interests. Outside, what were my hobbies, what I like to do. And we actually talked, he would talk to me on how he went to the school and what he did. And he said, it's not easy, it's hard, and the struggles he went through, and try to show me that, like, you gotta, get more answers than what the certain schools give you, so you don't make the same mistakes he did. It set him back a couple years, and family as well. We talked a lot about his family, my family, and he really got to know me for who I am. Tried to find out, all the little ins and theirs, and it looked like he was really interested to get to know me, for me.
John, from your perspective and the discussions that went on and so forth, what kinds of things did you find? Did you expect things to go the way they did, or?
Well, I enjoyed the conversations that Victor and I had, and honestly, Victor and I struggled a little bit to become compatible our first year, and I think it was a testament to our willingness, both of us, to say, hey, what are our differences and how do we work these out? And it's one of those things where at first it seems like it's a drawback or something that's going to be a bad thing, but as we kind of set our intentions towards making it work out, I think that's one of the big things that helped us become closer. And so we worked together for 4 years, and we talked about much. I don't know if you remember, but a few years ago in the district, they had their pillars of character. I don't know if you remember that. Mm-hmm. And so each kind of week we would choose a different pillar of character, and then Victor and I would talk about that, and then I'd say, okay, now how's that work at home in your life? And then he would go home and he'd think about those things, and then we come back and talk about them the next week. And he got a lot of good things out of it. I got a lot of good things out of it. It was really beneficial to both of us.
Mm-hmm. Emmanuel, share with us a little bit about Rick Foley as far as mentoring, your relationship with him, and just your time spent with him.
The time I spent with him was wonderful. From the day that, I went to a luncheon and him sitting next to me, turning around, not knowing who he was, after I gave my speech, he's like, hey, so here you want to be an architect, let's go talk to Diana and see what we can do. And the relationship started, and he's just been wonderful. Always kind, always smiling. There's no negative vibe about him. He was just always happy, great, always happy to see me, always happy to have a conversation, always, just so enthusiastic of my interests and what I wanted to do and how he could help me, exceed, for better.
Absolutely. And as far as selecting a school to even attend, did he have any insights on that for you?
To having a school, we talked about, what schools I was interested in and what I wanted to do, if I wanted to stay closer to home or, move away. And he said it was a great school, and they actually wrote a letter for me to get into the master's program. So they were like, they needed to apply, I needed certain letters, and he was more than happy to write that letter for me.
So you're in the master's program now at USF?
Correct. I'm in the master's program, and I've been there. It's a little different for USF. It's 2 years undergrad and 4 years master's. So it's different, but if all goes well, in May I should be graduating.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm sure Rick is very proud of you,
Thank you.
very proud of you. So when you graduate, do you have any goals that you'd like to focus on?
There's my main goal is, there's a couple. One, working for hopefully Foley Bryant Architects, and the other goal is making my mom her house, designing her house. She's my hero. She's been there from day one. She's always been there for me, and to actually design and build her house that she's dreamed of for so long is my main goal.
Victor, you're kind of on the other end of this college experience and so forth. Tell us a little bit about how it's been different from high school, this college experience, and what are a couple of things that you've learned as a result of this experience?
College is definitely different. You do your own time. The time that you have, you go to class. You do have to have focus on your time management, because if you do work, you got class, you got homework. so you got to focus on everything. Just keeping track. Did have a few setbacks, but I kept rolling with it. I'm pushing forward. I'm not going to let that hold me back. There's a few different things though, but I like it. It's real good.
When you hit the obstacles, because I know there will be other students out there who will, hit those obstacles as well. You said you just kept going. What did you do to kind of keep that motivation and the eye on that prize?
There was a few bad advising there, but I went to a couple of different people. I just didn't get one answer. I got a couple answers. I did see Mr. Scott about it and everything. There's a few people you see, like actual advisors and everything, and other people that already went through it. I just went and asked around. I just didn't let it hold me back.
So you checked out resources, resources,
yes.
It sounds like, including your mentors. So keeping that relationship going.
Yeah.
What do you think's the best thing about being in college?
You can sleep in. Yes, you can sleep in, but you still have to go to class. So I like that. I'm not sure. I think that's probably the best part.
Any advice you'd give to high school seniors that are getting ready to start this part of the journey?
Take a lot of SATs, ACTs. Don't just take one and think that's it. Apply for every scholarship. I'm not sure. There's a lot of things though, but and check out different schools, not just one school. Check out what the schools offer. They do offer help as well, in case you need help with classes. There's so many resources to help you. It's a real good thing to check out schools.
And since you're kind of looking at the rear view mirror as far as college is concerned, what kinds of advice would you offer a student who's just kind of starting or beginning that journey?
I would say, first off, échale ganas. Starting off with that, and don't stop. Don't let anything get in your way. Keep going. And if they're starting at a community college, there's no difference in starting off at a university. They're both great. And when you're doing that transfer over to a university, make sure you talk to the university on their requirements, on what they need for you to keep going. Because there's always sort of a mix-up, and that'll set you back just a little bit. It happened to me. So, I want to tell them to not make the same mistake and, talk to the university that they want to apply to so they can have that all worked out and everything can keep going smoothly.
Can I say something else?
Yeah, sure.
Make sure you have the right classes, don't just go, hey, I like this class, I like the time they're offering it, I want to pick it. Just pick the right classes, focus and keep going. Don't say, hey, I'm going to take a semester off, then you take another one. Just keep going forward. Don't stop.
So making sure you understand what classes are going to move you forward, not just something that may sound good or sound like fun.
Like fun, yeah. Yeah, it's a real big thing.
Well, Victor, staying focused on your goal is so important.
Yes.
What would you say is your greatest accomplishment so far?
Greatest accomplishment? It definitely is Take Stock, I have to admit. It's Take Stock having a scholarship. I am debt-free from college. I can say that and many others can't. It's a real good thing. I just don't have that worry holding me back and don't have to think about it. I think that's definitely it.
So did you apply for extra scholarships and so
Yes.
forth to help with books and other expenses along the way?
Take Stock does pay a lot, but it does help to have other scholarships because there is book fees, college fees, technology fees, just different college fees. You always have to make sure it does add up. It's a lot, but it's worth it at the end.
I think that's something that our mentors need to, keep in the foreground of discussions and so forth as we get toward junior and senior year with students. And students also need to be aware that there are expenses, that you you may not be aware of if you've come from home and those kinds of things. So I think that's a great message for students and mentors.
Especially those if they're moving away to college.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. Yeah.
Yeah, those moving away, that impacts that as well.
Will you stay living at home?
Yes, I will. It's USF's about an hour away, so just drive there. It's no big deal.
And your degree, when you're finished, will be in what?
I would be doing it in electrical engineering.
And where do you think that's going to take you? What kinds of things might you be doing? You
I'm kinda
determined
like-
that?
I like airplanes, so maybe working somewhere around an airport would be a great idea. So I think that would be a choice.
There'd be a great opportunity for you here in
Yeah.
maybe in Sarasota or in Tampa
Yeah.
Bay. So you could stay in the Manatee area.
That's
We'd like
nice.
you to stay near our community, near our home. And Emmanuel, what would you consider to be your greatest accomplishment so far?
My greatest accomplishment is having this great relationship with my mentors. Not only did I gain a mentor, but a great friend. And it was nice because I didn't have one, and it was since it was two partners, Rick Foley, Mike Bryant, and they were both there for me. Their thing was, you don't just have two of us, you have our whole firm, which was great. And I think having them, back me up from day one, and even when I graduated, they were still there for me, going through HCC and getting my AA. And then once I got into USF, they were still there for me. And every time I can call back on them or meet up with them, they're there to help me out in no matter what situation I'm in. So I think that's my greatest accomplishment.
John, let's ask you kind of the same question. As far as mentoring and this experience and the potential that it offers to students, as a mentor, what do you feel you've gained from this?
I enjoy mentoring a great deal. I continue to mentor for Take Stock now. I'll give a little shout out to my student Simon right now. He's a great guy. But really what kind of like pushed me over the edge, so to speak, with Take Stock was we were at the ceremony when Victor was graduating, and we had the nice dinner, and then we went up on stage and they gave Victor his scholarship. And after that, I was talking to some other people that I know, and somebody tapped me on the shoulder and they said, "Hey, Mr. Scott, you have to go up on stage." And I said, "We've already been up on stage." And they said, "No, you have to go back." And I said, "Why?" And they said, "Because Victor's a pioneer." And I said, "What's a pioneer?" And they said, "He's the first person in his family to go to college." And it just was such a beautiful thing. I mean, it just put it all together for me. And I was proud of Victor before, but I mean, I was just so proud of Victor, and I was so proud of you, and I was so proud of all the people that we work with Take Stock, because I see people just being selfless and loving and dedicated to the community. And I talk to my people that I mentor, and I say, hey, the only thing that I ask in return for mentoring is that you help somebody out in the future. You'll know the time. And everybody who I've mentored has said, yeah. And I mean, when I see Victor involved with stuff like this and see him giving back to the program, I'm like, not to be cynical, but so much doesn't work in our world, and to see something that works and to see something that's growing and becoming better, it's absolutely thrilling to be a part of.
Well, we are thrilled that you are a part of our family, our Take Stock family, all of you. We only have a few minutes left, and so I'd like to just open it up to any other comments that you may have. Emmanuel, would you like to add anything?
I just wanted to, let everyone know that, especially students, keep up the good grades. Take Stock in Children is a wonderful program. Without Take Stock in Children, I wouldn't have made it this far. They've helped me out so much, from finding a mentor, from paying for school, and keeping my debt so low that it's just pretty much impossible for me to go to school without them.
That's true. Yeah, it's impossible. I don't think I would have made it this far, honestly, without Take Stock, without my mentors, John, pushing me, and my family as well. They're pushing me every time. I just think I want to give back. Actually, when I'm done with the program, I do want to become a mentor. So I think that's a good choice.
That's great. We'd be happy to have you both as mentors.
Yes, definitely.
And John, do you have any other comments you would like to add?
I talked to a lot of people about the opportunity of mentoring at Take Stock, and I would just like to see as many people get involved as they possibly can. My very good friend is a mentor. He loves it. My neighbor down the street is a mentor. She loves it. I really have talked to no one who's had a less than wonderful experience working with Take Stock. And so, you know, if people have a little fear in their heart, the best way to overcome it is to get involved. So, you know, get involved in Take Stock. It's really worth it.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for joining us today. And thank you for taking the time to join us. Please accept my invitation to join the Take Stock in Children family to help us provide more scholarships, mentors, and hope to deserving students in Manatee County. Visit our website, takestockmanatee.org, and let's make a difference together. Thank you.